the dog doing?
He's wondering what I'm doing. He's like, Mom, stop.
Oh my God.
Hi, Angel. I'm sorry.
Hey, happy 2024. We are here, just like we said we would be.
Look at us. Look at us.
And when last we spoke, we said by the time we came back, we would have a name. And do we have a name? Honorable mentions. Here we go. I don't have that list. Do you have that list?
Yeah. So, okay. One that I've liked for a long time, but whatever. Big sis energy. Get it? It like plays off.
We didn't talk about that one. I like that.
It's fun, right? It's fun. I love that one. I love it. But it doesn't really tell you anything about what the podcast is about other than, we're sisters. So love it, but that's not it.
Like that.
The second one that we talked about was Flirting with Disaster, because that's obviously the name of my book, and it kind of makes sense from like a branding perspective, but we're not always going to be talking about disasters and blah, blah, blah. So good, but not great. I don't even know if I told you this one, but I think it's hilarious. Only friends. Get it? Like friends.
Yeah,
it's funny.
That's funny for something that's not this.
Or it has absolutely nothing to do with our podcast. It's just funny. We had like a lot of play on words that we were thinking about baggage and sisters and blah, blah, blah. And ultimately, Rae came up with a name that I absolutely love. Like, when you're just waiting and waiting, I think this happens a lot if you're a writer or a copywriter or in advertising, where there's an idea out there and there's the perfect name for something and it just has to come to you. That's what happened yesterday. And as soon as you said it, I was like, that's it.
But did you die with the Jet Sisters?
Have you ever heard anything more perfect? It's so good.
Good.
It's literally a phrase that we say to Mom probably once a week.
Yes.
But it's more like, but did I die? I actually think that's in my book somewhere. Like, but did I die? So it's like peripherally about travel. It's about disasters. It's about the good, the bad, life.
Speaking of, but did you die? Shall we move to travel news of the week?
Let's talk about travel news of the week. That could also fit into Flirting with Disaster very well, because let me just set the scene. You're on a plane. The window blows out of the plane.
Not the window, the wall.
Like the door thing. And people, nobody was at the window, first of all. So we'll get back to the two people who were supposed to be sitting next to the window. But the guy on the aisle, I want to say, I read that his shirt got ripped off his body. Now, you're a guy, fine. What if you're on your way to a meeting or a conference, you're just minding your own business, having a nap, it's an early flight, and next thing you know, you wake up to see the clouds whizzing by you, that so close you could touch because the door is gone, and your boobs are out.
Well, you would definitely wake up. You would definitely
you would wake up, but you would be like, the plane was depressurized, the masks came down.
So let me stop you right here. For those of you who don't know what we're talking about, there was a flight that was
Alaska Airlines.
It was flying. It was an airplane in the sky, and part of the wall literally fell off of the airplane, and there's a video, and you can see it. We'll find it. We'll link it somewhere. You can see the outside. You can see outside, which part of me was like, this cannot be real, because I didn't think that could happen. Like, I really thought if that ever happened, everybody just dies automatically. They must not have been that high pressure.
So a bunch of stuff got sucked out of the hole. So cell phones, luggage, the door, just
wasn't the door, right?
I don't think it was just a hole blown, because they're saying that like the door plug is faulty and some bolts were loose. Like,
this is all Boeing. This is all Boeing thing.
Yes, this is Boeing. Also makers of the one that was that plane that was taken out a couple years ago for unexplained crashes, the Max. This is something in that same ballpark. So
Yes, well.
didn't know that was something I needed to be afraid of on my flights. And like I've gotten so good about flying. I don't get super nervous anymore. And you know, it's just part of life. I've done it so much. It's part of life. Do you think I'm ever going to sit by the window again?
Do you think I'm ever gonna not be seatbelted into my chair? Like,
Well, I almost never get up anyway. Like I will do an overnight flight and not get up to go to the bathroom once because I'm just like completely weirded out by walking around the plane. But yeah, now, no. I will no longer be sitting by the window. I will never take my seatbelt off. The amount of bad that could have happened, it didn't happen. So apparently it was a woman pilot. She very calmly like handled the situation, got everybody back. Nobody died. Nobody was injured. I mean, one guy was topless, but could be worse. Now, if I had to walk off the plane with like no clothes on and there's a hole in the side of it, I mean, I hope they give that kid some money, like a new shirt and a lot of money. I would be scarred. I would be emotionally scarred and I might not be able to do my job anymore. Honest to God, if that happened.
What's the chance of that happening to you twice? So if anything,
I think it's probably pretty good. And here's why I think that. Because now that they've taken all those planes out of service, there's a lot of loose bolts. There's a lot of stuff that there's oversights. And with the previous Max situation, Boeing admitted that there was so much pressure to get the planes out and they were like skipping steps. You can't skip steps on a plane. You cannot.
Thankfully, no one died, and props to the pilot who was like, "Oh, okay, not my fault. I'm just flying the plane that fell apart. Let me land safely." So that's amazing.
Amazing. But I have to tell you that apparently there were two people who were supposed to be sitting in the middle seat and the aisle seat where this whole thing went down, and they missed the flight.
Oh my gosh! Are you sure? That sounds like a cover up.
No.
Are you sure?
No, but I'm pretty sure I absorbed that information into my mind at some point when I was scrolling the internet in the middle of the night. We can ask our fact checking team. Oh, it's us to
come on.
Yeah, to verify. But I'm pretty sure some people missed the flight because there was nobody in those two seats.
Would you rather lose your pants or your shirt? I'd rather lose my shirt. I don't want to lose my pants.
I'm not talking about just your shirt. I'm talking about everything. It's not like the air outside is going to discriminate against your bra. It's just going to be like Magic Mike, okay. Just rip it off. You would rather be topless on the plane.
I'd rather be topless than bottomless.
Like fully bottomless. I'm thinking just pantalones, but we're talking about the whole. Is anybody else thinking about this, or is it just us like catastrophizing every flight now? I don't know if I'll fly on the window again. I don't want to get sucked out of a plane. That feels like a bad way to go. Although,
last thing I'll say about this.
Okay.
If I had my dog and my dog flew out the airplane, I would be going after him. And I fully knowing like this is it for all of us. But my dogs aren't going alone.
Yeah, but you and Sheba have a pact anyway, so that's no surprise.
This is great. You know, I'm flying to Guatemala next week, and now I'm scared.
I know. I'm flying to New York, and a lot coming up in 2024. Like
before we get into before we start what we're doing, let's talk about the cruise.
It was
we
so
did
fun.
The cruise. We did the Royal Caribbean cruise with the fam. A lot of hype leading up to it, and it lived up.
Honestly, we never plan anything that far in advance, right? Like we're not a year in advance kind of people usually as a family. So we talked about it all year. And I wasn't expecting it to be so good, but it was so good. And four nights I feel like was a good length.
Not me. I disagree with you there.
You wanted it longer?
I wanted it longer because I feel like there was so much stuff we didn't do because there's so many things to do on the cruise. And then when you port, you want to get off the boat, you want to do other things. And then you miss time on the boat. So it was a 5-day cruise, but let's be serious. It's a 3-day cruise because you get on the boat at 1, 2.
Yeah.
leave, there's, parties, you're kind of getting the lay of the land, your room, you have dinner. That's day one.
Yeah.
Day two, we were on the island. Day three, we were in Nassau. And then day four was the only day at sea. And then they kick you off 7 a.m. on day five. So it says it's a 5-day cruise. It is, but it's not.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not as much time as you would think. Even being one of the smaller Royal Caribbean ships, it's not like the big Icon that just came to Miami this week and is gargantuan, just the biggest cruise ship, just huge, huge, huge. So it's a lot smaller than that, but even still, I had all these plans. Like, I was going to do the rock climbing wall. I was going to play cornhole. I was going to play pickleball. I was going to do the water slide. I was going to do the surf rider, the flow rider. I didn't do anything. I didn't do any of that. I didn't do any of that. So.
And we did not even, well, I guess me and Ben did not get off in Nassau. You did.
Yeah, Rick and I did, because we needed conch salad. Like, literally, that's the only reason. We didn't do any activities. We went to the fish fry and came back because we needed conch salad. I mean, you do what you do.
You're right. I didn't do the water slide. We did play pickleball, but for 18 minutes.
Barely.
Because it was.
I got in the hot tub once. I played trivia twice. Taylor Swift, Name That Tune, and Harry Potter. Those are the two trivias that I got to play. We did the game show, what was that called?
Crazy Quest.
Crazy Quest. That was a moment. We saw the comedian magic show guy, which was great.
We didn't see the ice skating show. We didn't see the Broadway show.
We didn't go ice skating. We didn't do the escape room.
We didn't do laser tag. There's so many things we didn't do. See, it's not enough time.
It's not. And so can you even imagine going on those giant ships for 3-4 days? What could you possibly see? There's 40 restaurants on the Icon. 40 restaurants. 40. What?
How many on ours? I mean, we only went to the one.
I don't know, maybe 20?
We definitely saw the casino every day.
You know what? That's why we didn't do anything else. Because we did spend a bit of time in the casino.
I'd do it again.
Yeah.
Lost all my money and I would do it again.
I feel like I spent the majority of my time walking from one end of the ship to the other looking for you guys. I think that's why I didn't do anything, because I was like, where's Dad? Where's Hodge? Where's Mom? Where's Ray? And we're just constantly looking for each other. So it's a bit tricky when you've got a larger group. A little tricky. Sure. And plus, we're all very, whatever you want to do. Whatever you want to do. Whatever you want to do.
We did spend a lot of time in the arcade.
I only went there once and didn't play anything.
I think we probably went once a day to play
you guys went that first night, and that's when I was sick. So I was going to say, let's switch to the disaster, the drama of the cruise. What was your disaster? Did you have one?
You go first and I'll think of mine.
I almost can't think of anything.
You puked 6 times.
Yes, but not from any communicative disease. I should make that clear. But the first night, we got there and found Rae and Ben at the bar, and we all found each other, and I drank 2 Goombay Smashes, which rum doesn't ever sit well with me. And I really don't drink very much. So it decided that was not going to work. It was like, wow, you just drank 1,000 gallons of alcohol. And I just had 2 the whole night, and it did me in. So my first night was kind of less than awesome. But after that, I was fine. I didn't get seasick. I didn't get nauseous. And it wasn't super smooth. We had bad weather. I would say the weather was not a disaster, but it was a disappointment.
It was cold and it was rainy.
That was a bummer.
That was tough, especially on Island Day.
It was
the pool on the island was so cold. We did not get in.
Yeah. And we wanted to do the swim up little tiki bar, which is not, you can't walk to it. You actually do have to swim to it. You got to get up to your neck, and it was cold, and we did it anyway. But then you get out and you climb up, and you're in your bathing suit, and you're wet, and it's windy, and it was cloudy. We were like, This is so fun. Oh my God. Not ideal. And that's going to happen. If you travel to the Bahamas, I think in December or January, it's kind of a crapshoot. It might be 80 degrees and perfect, or it might be windy and gross. So you don't know what you're going to get. Did you have a disaster other than that?
The very first night, I had the worst headache. Maybe a migraine. It was really horrible.
Huh.
Probably from all of the sugar. I don't
Yes.
want sugar in drinks, and it just didn't win. I just remembered a drama.
Tell me.
We brought 4 pickleball paddles and our own balls to play a lot of pickleball.
Yeah.
Turns out the court is Ben's here. Ben's here. Come here, Ben.
Come on.
So we brought all of our stuff, and then with the intent to play many times, but it's set up. They set it up on the basketball court, so it's only set up for a couple hours.
It's not a designated pickleball court.
Yes, and like literally for 2 hours a day, and everyone on the ship is into pickleball now.
Everybody.
So I mean, we could not get to the sign up sheet. That is how many people were signing up. So we were there very early one of the days. So we did get to play against a lady who was really, really, really good and ruthless. And the game lasted 18 minutes. So we wanted to play so much pickleball, and just that was it. So that was my meh moment.
I would say along the same lines, my big disappointment was that it felt kind of crowded when you wanted to do something. Like you very often couldn't find a seat for trivia unless you got there 45 minutes early, and then you're missing the belly flop contest, or there's so much going on. And I think that's always been my problem with cruises is you want to go on vacation, but there's so much to do and you're just kind of running everywhere to do it. And I think that's great if you're a certain kind of person and you want a certain kind of vacation, but it's kind of tough. And I just didn't want to wait in that many lines. And I think that's why I didn't do as much stuff.
We never got to play laser tag because it was always full.
I looked and looked and looked to see if that was a passenger activity or if it was just a show that they did. There was no information on that. By the time it showed up on our little schedule, everything was booked. So I could have ice skated, but I didn't have the opportunity.
Did we have fun?
It sounds so terrible.
Now that we're unpacking all of this.
The most memorable moments that I'll never forget. Ben soliciting a lady's false teeth and asking a strange woman who we did not know, can I borrow your dentures? The lady takes them out, puts them in Ben's hand, and then Ben has to run them down to this lady. I'll never forget that. Like Ben is the guy you want on your team. And then I'll never forget our brother and his horror when we both ripped our bras off and threw them on the stage. He will never get over it. He's so that is the trauma of the cruise, and it was our brother's because he was like, he was so mad at us. He was like, "Can you believe your daughter's mom?"
And Mom was like, "Well done, girls."
No, Mom was laughing so hard, I thought she was going to pass out. And then you had to go put your bathing suit top on a man who you did not know.
Yeah.
Guys, do the Crazy Quest. If nothing else, you will not regret going to that. It was the funniest thing I've seen in a long time. We laughed so hard. Mom laughed so hard.
Oh, we also did the paper airplane contest.
We did do that. Poorly. Yeah.
I should have won. That guy cheated. Probably.
And 4 people at a time go up and they take their handmade paper airplane and they throw it into the crowd and see how far it'll go. Hodges went under the catwalk backwards. I feel like we had the right amount of fun. Also, I love that we were on there for New Year's Eve.
I just have to stop you. You just measured the amount of fun we had.
What did I say?
We had the right amount of fun. Like, it wasn't too much fun. It wasn't not enough. It was the right amount of fun.
I was pleased. I was pleased with the fun level. These are quantifiable numbers, people. I had I had 70% good time fun. Any more than that, and I would have died.
Yeah, I would have liked more days. You think it was the right amount of days. Sunnier would have been nice. But hey, we did do a cruise in December. That's on us.
I mean, real talk, with all the things I'm saying could be improved on, I'd do it again. I'd do it again next week. Like, I really enjoyed it. I do it with the same people. It was fun, you know? The right amount of fun.
The new year on the cruise.
That was really fun.
Very unique.
We never get to, we're never all in the same place for that, you know? And if we are, we're at the lake house and it's dark and it's just us and it's not a party. This was a party. Like, we wore sequins. Dad wore sequins. Hodge wore sequins. Mom wore sequins. Like, we looked great.
Ben did not wear
it. Yeah, Ben was like, I'll be wearing a Hawaiian shirt. Thank you. And that's okay, because I encourage everyone to be themselves. But we really went hard. It was so fun. We did some dancing. Like, we got a great spot. I mean, hot tip. We were on a balcony overlooking the promenade. So we weren't down in the midst of, there was a balloon drop and a countdown. So we were kind of overlooking it all. And that, I feel like, was the spot for us.
It was good.
It was down there for me.
It was awesome. And then as soon as all of the balloons dropped, we ran upstairs to the deck and could see fireworks on Florida's like coast.
Yeah, far, far in the distance on the horizon, you can see little tiny fireworks.
We'll definitely do it again. Yeah, Royal Caribbean. It was Mariner of the Seas, 4 nights out of Port Canaveral.
Oh, and we didn't even talk about the best part, the rocket launch.
Oh, yeah, that was cool.
That was my favorite part. And that had nothing to do with Royal Caribbean or the cruise. We just were so lucky that we were on the ship. We departed. We'd been cruising for a couple hours, and a launch was scheduled to happen out of Cape Canaveral. And, you know, sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. It was really windy. It was kind of rainy. We were like, oh, it probably won't happen. It happened. We were on the deck. I've never seen a launch from that perspective, and it was awesome.
It was like insane. Like, immediately, it looked like sunrise.
Yeah, everything was dark and you could see nothing. And then all of a sudden there's like a flame on the horizon, and then the flame's like going up, and then the whole sky's lit up. It was awesome.
It was cool.
And a lot of people were up on the deck. Like, a lot of people knew it was happening. And so people were up there checking it out. It was fun. I haven't seen a launch like that, like with a group of people, probably since space shuttle days.
So New Year's, you know, we partied till 2? And then at 7 a.m. they said,
oh,
that part.
Yeah, and that part was kind of stank. We stayed out, stayed up late, woke up, got off the ship, everybody drove home, and then I slept the entire day. Actually, I slept for like 3 days.
Yeah, we didn't, I think there was only one night we really stayed out, and that was New Year's.
Yeah.
Every other night, we went to bed by 11.
No, we like tried. We tried to stay up and like, yeah, we're going to do this. And then 10 o'clock rolls around and we're like, listen, we have other nights. We have other nights.
And I think when you don't have the drink package, that is a factor. Because you're like, I could stay up and pay for more drinks, or I could go to sleep. All right, that was our cruise trip. What's coming up this week? What are you doing this week?
Gosh, so as soon as I got back, pretty much I started recording my audiobook in studio. So that has been amazing, fun. I like it. Like, maybe I could do that for a living. It's super fun. And I can't wait for people to hear it, because I feel like I did a good job. And now just reading my whole book out loud after I haven't in a while, I'm like, this is a good book. I like this book. People are going to like it. So I must encourage folks to buy the audiobook if you want. If you're into audiobooks and you don't hate the sound of my voice, then this could be for you. Yeah, not for Rachel. Rachel doesn't want to hear me talk to her for 9 hours straight. So I have 2 more days of recording in the studio next week. And that's sort of mentally and physically grueling, believe it or not, because it's 6 hours a day. And I like act everything out, and it's just, you know, it's a lot. So that's pretty much what I'm doing next week. That's the lion's share of things. But I've been recording AAA and getting ready for the book launch, which is in like 60 days. Oh my gosh. Oh my God. It's in 60 days. I have to go have a nervous breakdown. Excuse me.
Everything's fine. You already wrote the book. It's fine.
You're right. The hard part's done. So, yeah, thinking about that a lot, planning for that. And I'm going to New York in a couple weeks. So, very excited about that. And that's it. How about you? What are you up to?
Big things. Big things. Tomorrow we are going to a rib making contest. One of Ben's friends is making ribs, so we're gonna go eat some ribs. And then on Sunday we're gonna go to Universal with 2 travel dads, Rob and Chris.
I didn't get invited to that.
Well, maybe you should live in Orlando. And then next week, Ben and I are going to Guatemala for a wedding. So
that's exciting.
Yeah.
You've never been to Guatemala?
No.
Me neither. That'll be another country you've been to that I haven't been to.
So we'll discuss Guatemala when I return.
You're only there for a couple days?
I am only there for a couple days, and we're only going to the one. We're only going to Antigua. And I know there's like everything I see about Guatemala is there's a lake and it's not really the city we're going to. So we're going, but I don't feel like we're going. So we'll have
to get a taste. Yeah, you just get a taste. Are you doing any hikes?
We are. We're going to do one on Friday. Thought about doing the volcano, but it's really hard. So we're not going to do that.
That's hard to fit something like that in over a weekend when there's also a wedding.
That's the thing.
Is there a direct flight from Orlando? Are you taking a direct flight?
I'm trying to remember. I think so. I think it's with Spirit.
I would think there is out of Orlando.
Yeah.
Thanks for being with us for this very special first episode of 2024.
Our goal is every week, but there are some time, like we are also traveling a lot, so like we're gonna do our best. Hey, if you have any, if you've heard any travel stories that you want us to talk about, send them our way. All right, we'll see you next week.